Nice to be here with this cold, but we are okay. And I am Bernardita Rodriguez. I am from Costa Rica, and I am the president of the Women Economic Forum there. And I'm also a businesswoman. And I have a firm with other three partners of investment banking, and I worked for banking for 25 years. So it's so interesting for me have the experience in 2019. I came to India and I was so impressed of how nice you people are with it really is a different part of the world, but women here suffer from so many things that we don't necessarily have. And so it's interesting because education is something really important for every human being to grow. And so I think if we bring support to India and education in a lot of ways, values, and so many ways, we could help each other. So, talking about bilateral Costa Rica India, there is so many things. We are such a small country in in a tiny part of the world. We are just 5 million uh, in the population, and we have 6% of the biodiversity of the world. So, and also we have no army. So there is so much that we could share as a country, and then that's why we thought that it would be really interesting sharing with the two other speakers that we have here. Baisaki is from India, but she lived in Costa Rica several years. And Marianela, she's been in the education area for a lot of time. So I will give the chance to them to talk. Oh, sorry. Pay attention because we are going to have a surprise at the end. Okay? We will ask some questions. And if you say the right answer, so you will get the prize.
You'll get a prize from Costa Rica.
Bueno, yo voy a hablar en español.
So she's going to speak in Spanish and I will translate it into English.
So, yo voy a hablar poquito para tener tiempo.
Tranquila.
Okay.
She will speak a little, so we have more time.
So, Costa Rica is the most beautiful in English.
No, it's good. Si
No.
puede hablar en...
No, I can, but
Yeah.
I got nervous. Costa Rica es el país más bello del mundo. Lo siento, pero tengo que decirlo.
Yeah, she says Costa Rica is the most beautiful country in the world, and I agree because it is so green and so biodiverse, and it relies mostly on tourism. So I think she's trying to say that.
Geográficamente es un país, bueno, decimos que es el ombligo del mundo, por eso Costa Rica tiene una gran posibilidad de conectarse con el mundo a nivel de proyectos o a nivel de negocios, porque de verdad está en el centro del mundo.
Yeah, so she says geographically it's like the navel of the world because literally it's in the center of the world. So there are lots of possibilities in Costa Rica, especially because it is so clean and green. Y quiero agregar un punto. Costa Rica is one of the blue zones in the world. So there is a place called Nicoya where you have people living up to 100 plus. So there are only 5 places in the whole world that are the blue zones where centenarians live. And Costa Rica is one of those.
Costa Rica también ha ocupado lugares como el país más feliz del mundo y por eso también creo que es porque siempre estamos diciendo Costa Rica pura vida y eso lo llevamos adentro.
Yeah, so it's also one of the happiest countries in the world, and that's really true because you won't find people angry. You won't find people shouting or screaming or fighting. They are always laughing and smiling. And whenever you meet someone, they don't say, "Hello, how are you?" They say, "Pura vida." So, pura vida means pure life. So, you say hello, you say goodbye, you say, "How are you?" Everything is pura vida.
Pura vida.
Yeah.
Bueno, como decía Bernardita, Costa Rica no tiene ejército y ha invertido todo ese dinero del ejército en educación. Por eso Costa Rica, o la educación en Costa Rica ha alcanzado niveles de calidad muy altos, muy parecidos a los que tienen países de primer mundo.
Okay, so Costa Rica, the education level is very high, almost the same as some of the first world countries. And like Bernardita said, Costa Rica doesn't have an army. So it's a very peaceful nation, and the money that one would use in training army officers and things like that, we have inverted that money into education.
Y quizás por esa cuestión que tiene Costa Rica de pura vida, Costa Rica entró, al igual que todos los países, en el mundo de la globalización, así sin más ni más.
Yeah, so Costa Rica is in the world's globalization economy and all. And even though some people think that Costa Rica is a third world country, but it is actually very developed, very clean, very hygienic. People are, very cordial and very nice, polite culture. So you can really have a very light time over there. There is no heaviness in that country.
Y quizás porque la educación en Costa Rica tiene niveles muy altos, Costa Rica ha logrado ser un país con alto conocimiento en tecnología y en otros idiomas. Y eso hace también que muchas industrias o que haya un intercambio de servicios profesionales agregados y Costa Rica ha tenido la posibilidad entonces de entrar rápidamente a las cadenas de valor a nivel internacional.
Yeah, so technology wise, Costa Rica has done very well, and it has a very big place in the globalization in the international level, and also in terms of education that she is repeating. So, really, being such a small country in Central America, it's almost in the Isthmus of Panama. Costa Rica has done a lot with very little resources.
Y en esta situación, digamos, de la globalización, Costa Rica también se apuntó a cosas muy importantes como la inclusión, la equidad y elevar el nivel de vida.
Yeah, so Costa Rica has also reached a level of inclusion and equality. So there is not much bias or prejudice against women like we have in our country, and like she was also saying that a woman in India suffers a lot, but in Costa Rica that level of equality is very high. In fact, sometimes when I visit India, I tell people that in Costa Rica we have matriarchy and in India we have patriarchy. So that's the difference.
Yes. Another point, otro punto es el turismo. Costa Rica tiene niveles muy altos en turismo, es muy bello, como decía mi compañera.
Yeah, so tourism in Costa Rica is one of the biggest industries that the country relies on, and it's beautiful. You have the blue butterfly in Costa Rica. It's a very magical thing there, la borboleta azul en Costa Rica, ¿verdad? And many people from North America, like US and Canada, when they retire, they want to come and live in Costa Rica because it's so peaceful, it's so beautiful, and the weather, it's never too hot, it's never too cold. You don't find houses with fans. There is no provision of fans, and there is no need to wear jackets or sweaters because throughout the year the temperature is just optimal.
Entonces, bueno, yo no estoy contando todo esto para presumir de mi país, sino para contarles que en Costa Rica es muy fácil hacer convenios bilaterales porque primero porque tenemos como la actitud abierta para eso, pero también los niveles de educación y los niveles digamos, de conocimientos alcanzan para eso.
Yeah, so she is not saying all this just to be presumptuous about Costa Rica, but that it's very easy to do bilateral relations and connections with Costa Rica because people generally are very knowledgeable and friendly, and it's very easy to talk with people and, you know, to do business together over there.
Entonces los invito a ser parte de los negocios, proyectos e investigaciones de nuestro país.
Yeah, and she's inviting all of you to join us and do business and other things with Costa Rica. Sigo yo.
Sí, dame para introducir. Okay. Thank you very much. I hope you will be cheerful to go to our country. And as they said, exactly in 1985, the first lady, married with the president at that moment, talked for the first time of equal conditions for women. And so that gives you an idea of how important is for us those topics. So that's why we are here, and we came all the way from the other side of the world to really empower everyone that wants to be better. And as so many people say this morning at the opening, what we as women have to do is believe in ourselves. Once that we do that, and like my daughter said, Mom, but that is not easy. You said like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna believe in myself. I know it's not easy, but the thing is, if we do every little things that we do, caring for what we are doing, so we start with that. And just for finishing, Baisakhi would love to share a little bit about our country as an Indian living there. Okay?
Hi. So very quickly, I will tell you the story how I landed in Costa Rica. So I just finished my class 10 in India, and then I had a scholarship. So I went to Singapore to study, and since then I have lived in different continents of the world doing exchange programs. So I went to Europe, and then Africa, and then South America, Venezuela, then North America and Central America. So my last stop was Costa Rica, where I published my first book, and then I became a resident of the country. So for the last 7 to 8 years, I have been living in Costa Rica. And while there, I am an active participant with the Costa Rica India Association. So we have more Costa Ricans in that association